Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And I'd like to approve the minutes of our meeting of June 17th. What is your pleasure?
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Okay. Motion carries. And I don't think we had any residents. Do we have any residents here? No, don't see any. This is, I think it's the first time that I've come to know we didn't see a person here. Boy.
Weather's too nice.
No, the weather's too nice. Well, we go right on to staff reports. The REAC inspection, June 26, 27, and 28.
Went very well. This was the Mary and her crew's first REAC inspection, and they did very, very well. Melrose and Hayes ended up with a 96 out of a 100-point score, and Elliott, Ledgewood, and Moorcourt ended up with an 85. And that was mostly because at High Rise they found that some little piece,
Missing escutcheon.
yes, on the sprinkler heads that do nothing, but they were missing.
Oh,
And so we got dinged.
somebody collects them or something?
Who knows how long they had been missing. It's not the sort of thing that
Yeah.
you would ever think to check
Yeah.
until next time. Now you
Yeah.
know.
No, we know.
So, but that was really it.
Selling in front of the building.
Yeah. They're not copper. But those are very good scores, and they did a great job, the whole team, getting the properties ready. And
And the residents were very cooperative.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Very pleased with that.
Very good. Good. Okay, moving on. For review and approval, the proposed policy change, non-smoking at Samuel Elliott and Hayes Court. And I did get your email, Tom. So
I guess everybody did?
Oh, yeah, I'm assuming that, yeah, good. But I assume that I would just open it up to let you talk a little bit about it if you like.
Did we get any comments? Okay.
No, just Tom.
Okay.
Well, I guess everybody here has got one. I don't think I sent you one, Mary.
I'll catch up.
About the
I'll try to summarize it as
Chris
quickly
printed it,
as
so-
possible. It's a mechanical device, electrical device, that vaporizes the liquid that you take into your lungs, and there is no smoke, there is no smoldering, there is no fire. And I feel that it's safer to have a safety valve for people who will continue to smoke, to have something like this to satisfy their need without lighting up a cigarette, falling back asleep, and lighting a mattress on fire. I assess it as being no more likely to cause a fire than a flashlight. And I have an LED flashlight that actually gets hot. The flashlight might actually be more dangerous. And that's my concern. I haven't seen any evidence of that it would bother people from the standpoint of secondhand smoke, because you can't smell it. Now, I've been in the presence of people smoking these things as a demonstration to me, and I couldn't smell anything at all. There's a little bit of what appears to be smoke coming out of their mouth. It's not smoke, it's the vapor of this liquid that's in there, which happens to be something related to antifreeze. But it's a common ingredient in food, so it in and of itself is not poisonous, and it's not. Basically, it's not our problem what they put in their lungs anyhow. It's what they put in our lungs, and I don't see them putting anything in our lungs for these things, and I see it as a safety thing from fire. So that's why I wrote the letter.
So this differs then from an e-cigarette?
No, this is an
This is
e-cigarette.
the
It is an e-cigarette.
It's two little pieces of aluminum tube, one of which is basically a battery, the other of which is this little container of this liquid. Butylene glycol, it's called. and that contains the nicotine. And there's a little chamber in there with electrical ignition thing that's very much the same as what you might find in a cigarette lighter, or a car cigarette lighter, but much, much smaller. It's got to fit inside a cigarette. And you keep the battery part forever. The filter, they call it a filter part. It isn't a filter, but they call it a filter part. That's replaceable. You throw it out. It contains about as much nicotine as a pack of cigarettes, and costs about as much as a pack of cigarettes. And then you replace it. And basically that's it. And these things are pretty near now, all imported from China. They're apparently not made in America. And the American tobacco industry doesn't seem to have anything to do with it, one way or the other. I think they're kind of right.
So, reading the policy, in order to allow e-cigarettes, there would need to be a change in the second paragraph. It says,
Yeah.
Can I say something for the committee? Speaking for the committee, Tom brought it up in front of the rest of the committee, and we thought it needs more research. We thought it's still early, we weren't able to get a lot of research on it, and that if we found that they were okay, we could always amend the policy before May, when the policy will take effect. So that's why we kept it we kept it in there for right now, because we didn't feel there was enough research done on it. They're fairly, I mean, I don't know how long they've been out there, but even talking to some of the people that have looked into it, there's not enough, we didn't feel there was enough research out there to put it in here right now. But that as we move along, if we could find more information on it to find out that it is totally not, or not, mostly not dangerous, or doesn't prove a danger to other people, that we could amend the policy and put it in before the date that the policy takes place.
Well, who's going to do the research and when?
Well, we will.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
one of the things that I'd like to do is, I know that in the Springfield Housing Authority, when they implemented their non-smoking, they said no to electronic cigarettes. And they had a split vote, but their reason was, and I've seen this from smokers that I know, it's very easy to say, well, I'm not going to have that, I'll just have my regular cigarette. So the Springfield Housing Authority felt that it was not really going to help people not smoke, and it was going to become a really difficult enforcement issue. And smokers, if they can have an e-cigarette, but then they can also sort of sneak the regular thing, the concern of some of the housing authorities is they'll really just want to, because the e-cigarette is very expensive, so they'll just sneak the cigarette that we don't want people to be smoking. So it would be good if we, it would, well, they probably will, but the e-cigarette makes it a lot easier. It's like if you say yes to it, then it's like, okay, so they said yes, I can have this for $30, I can have this for, however much it cost, and if I just sneak it. So,
We'll say the cigarette's about $5. A pack is about.
yeah, so I guess I would like to do more, the staff will do more research, and I'd like to be able to talk to the other housing authorities and see what they've done and their reasoning for it. If they've said no to it, then why? And I don't have that information yet. But I think it would be good for us to be able to do that, to get more information, and then you might say, well, yeah, we think we want to try it with those permitted, and we can just strike that. So,
Well, we don't have a meeting next month. You think you could have get a staff report to the board by the next meeting? Just 2 months from now?
yeah,
That'll be September.
this policy, as it's written, doesn't take effect until
May.
May 1 of
Right.
2014.
Right.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, so it's not, yes, we'll do the research right away, and we'll have it on the agenda in September and let you know what we found out.
So then maybe it'd be a good idea to not vote yes or no at this meeting.
We have to, or else it will not go into effect in May.
We can vote on
Yeah.
on
We can always amend the policy.
the policy change.
Yeah.
We can vote on
We
that.
have to vote yes or no now.
Yes.
In order to give it the 30-day
Yes.
notice period, which is
Correct.
what we're trying to do, is
30
get it
days.
formally out there as a 30-day comment period. It's the HUD requirement, because this amends the lease, or will amend the lease.
But if it's not going to go into effect until the 1st of May 2014, why is I don't really understand the time pressure.
The time pressure is because we are going to be writing a new lease, and we need to know what the lease is going to say with respect to the smoking.
So it
So
has
that's
to do with
really why
writing the
we're-
new leases,
yeah.
not with the smoking policy.
Right, right. So it's going to be a very critical point in the new lease, and we're trying to we're already working on the new lease, but the new lease is really there's a lot of work to write, and then it's a big process to get a new lease signed by everybody. So that's why we'd like to get this out, and it's also that it's timely now. People, you've had your meetings, people have sort of been
Right.
talking about it, and this would get it out. People, if we feel like if we wait, then you're putting it out there, and it may be that, people just aren't paying any attention, and then they come in and they go, well, but,
Nobody told me.
yeah, or whatever. So it seems like it's in the residents are conscious of it, so we want to keep it.
Small technical point, on the front page it says May 1st, 2014 as the anticipated effective date. And on the second page at the top it
Oh.
says anticipated effective date July 1st.
I think it's supposed to be May.
Nice catch.
Good catch, Mary.
Good, Mary.
Yes.
So that would we would change it to May 1.
To May 1 or June?
To May 1.
On the second page.
Yes,
Second.
yes, it is supposed to go into effect May 1.
Right. Yep.
So that's
Is that the contract or the smoking policy?
the smoking policy would go into effect May 1 of 2014.
Has this been reviewed by council?
Yes,
Yeah.
we've had it, and we have not gotten any
Okay.
negative
I just-
reactions. She'll need to put this, to incorporate somehow this in some way into the lease.
Yeah.
We're not
Okay.
sure, we'll leave that up to the
But I just wondered if she'd reviewed this. If she has, that's good.
I make a motion to accept the policy.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I'd just like to say that I like Tom's point about giving people an alternative, but I think I'm going to vote in favor of the policy because we can amend it if we find that there are really no deleterious effects from allowing the e-cigarette. So I will be voting in favor of it.
Any other further discussion?
Yes, I would like to just go on record that regardless of how the other housing authorities accept or reject electronic cigarettes, I would rather have that decision made on what this housing authority chooses to do.
Okay. Anything else? Hearing no further call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Not nay.
Motion is 4-1. And so it's in favor? We pass the motion? And we'll take a look at it again.
So, Janet, you still
I
want,
voted for it.
but you still want us to do the research
Oh,
and
absolutely.
looking at what other
Yes.
nonprofits and other housing providers have done.
But regardless
Okay.
of the other opinions, I think it's important to look at what our housing authority, and particularly our residents,
Mhm.
choose to do.
Mhm. No, I just wanted to be clear about it.
Sure.
At the meetings that we had, I think there was only one person, or maybe a second person, but that second person didn't smoke, that brought up the electronic cigarette and using the electronic cigarette. So just as a,
Well, we will do our homework and have that for you in September. Thank you.
So that motion has been made, and here now, let's see.
I wanted to just note that you've got 2 rent collections from,
Yes.
one didn't make it into the packet, so you have May and June.
okay.
Okay.
And May is in Ledgewood. I thought the end of school, a little light into the rent.
Which one was made? I'm sorry, I'm not seeing.
Up at the very
I see it.
top.
There, I see it now. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because that 67.61% at Ledgewood was
Yeah.
eye-catching.
Yeah.
Representative people.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have to ask that. I've got a fan behind me
Oh,
or
okay.
something. It's not easy. But what percent, 67%
67.61% in June.
were late on rent?
No, it was
No,
what we
Not what we
collected.
collected.
Oh, collected, that's left the late for rent. Thank you.
It's just amazing to see how high these numbers are. And then we have a couple of places, whether it be Ledgewood and Brattleboro, that we have to keep an eye on. And I think all in all, we're pretty darn well. So what is it?
Very good.
Average 91.6.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out that percentage was just from one area, and the overall percentage was 91 and change.
Yep, 906. Anybody else have any thoughts or discussion on these rent rolls?
I actually found it interesting to compare the two.
Okay.
Very good. Housing choice. I want to move a little bit first here. The program manager, resident service coordinator, SASH coordinator. There's a SASH piece in here.
Don't we have the property updates? Yeah. No.
That's down a little bit further down, isn't it? Is there anything special to bring out on SASH?
No, the FSS and resident services and SASH are all doing great. And you can see in the SASH materials, I thought it was great that they put out a little bit on summer heat.
Yes.
So people would, but we have Sandra Bodsky working with us now, and she's starting to have walking groups in developments. And so one group is going to walk in the Alzheimer's walk. So
Back to the FSS, I thought it was interesting on Lucy's report that they're putting in consequences for people not paying their rent on time. I thought that was very, very good.
yes.
And I could just, when I read that, I could just about hear Lucy's voice saying it.
Pay your rent. They're doing really well.
Has she been successful in adding more people to her caseload to come up to 50?
She gets new people and some people leave, and so she's getting there. I think that summer is a slower time in FSS. I think probably in August when people start thinking about college and school, finish, GEDs and things like that.
Mhm. And kids go back to school, so they don't have all
Yeah.
the kids around and
Yeah.
everything too.
That HCV administrator of the Housing Choice voucher programs, there's a purple piece of paper here on the HCV Family Self-Sufficient Report. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that, or anybody wants to clear anything up on that?
Is that the red one?
This one
Or the
here.
purple?
Second.
Oh, the-
From Claudia McCarthy.
From Claudia.
Claudia.
Mhm.
I'm interested that part of the family self-sufficiency report is also their getting information on the Vermont Health Connect, the upcoming health insurance exchange. Because the families that they're working with are not usually on Medicare. And so they are the ones much more vulnerable
Right.
to the changes in Vermont healthcare.
Yeah, I thought that was very wise of them to really jump on that.
On the property redevelopment manager on hazard mitigation, do we have anything to report on that?
Yeah, should be in here, but before we go there, if I could just draw your attention to the section 8, the red one.
Just a question, could you ask them not to put it on red paper?
I
It's
will,
very
yeah, it's hard to
difficult
read,
read.
isn't it?
Not only hard to read it,
Yeah.
the psychological benefit.
Yeah.
consequences.
I wanted to let you know that we did send your letter to the congressional delegation, and I followed up via email to them, and got a reply from everybody immediately that said, oh, don't send it snail mail. It's really hard to get that kind of mail anymore in Washington. And I was like, yes, of course, anthrax, isn't it? So they are all aware of it, working on it. There were some vacations. They're going to be getting back to me on this, but they thanked you for it and appreciated getting it, and it is now higher up. So I wanted
Sale is going electronically.
yeah, I should have thought of that, and I didn't. I said, gee, I'm sorry, I forgot to send this to you via email. And I said, Chris, yeah, we know that's form, but... So, that's the update on that.
Is there any update on this status of the Brook capacity study
Um,
from Stevens Associates?
The hazard mitigation plan is on this light blue. And we have to have a meeting with Stevens and Housing Vermont to really get the Brook capacity study focused. And they've been busy with that, and the Brooks House, surprisingly. So the last thing I heard from Bob was, well, maybe I can get back to my day job now. So we need to get on that, because that is an important part of the Melrose project.
Does anybody have any questions on any of the information on that blue sheet of paper?
Well, the plans for temporary relocation of residents for the electric baseboard heaters to be installed, how long do they estimate residents would need to be out of their apartments?
One night, 2 days, 1 night. And what we've done is assigned Jack and Heidi to be the co-leaders or organizers of that, with Chelsea and the Sash folks and George as support. Jack handling the works, you know, the property piece of it, and then Heidi handling the resident interaction and communication. So this is a great first part of, I keep telling them, I need the grand plan, folks. And tomorrow we will be talking about when I can get that grand plan, which includes all the resident communication and resident meetings.
You will keep us in the loop as far as...
Absolutely, that's why I want the grand
Yeah.
plan, because I think you need it and we need it.
Yeah.
So.
Because I'm getting asked by a lot of people, and I'm saying, well, it's in the works. It's
Okay.
in the works.
Well, thank you for saying that, because now I can say, and the board wants it.
Okay. On the work sessions or old and new and other business, financial, monthly checking, you saw the payables list here. Marshall had 2 months in a row, June and July. And is that it? Yep, and I am up next month, in April.
And I have September.
I think I missed it in November.
Yeah.
Away in October. So almost that.
That's why I took September.
So,
Oh, here it is, yeah, it's in the minutes.
do we have it down? We have it down?
Yes, it's in the minutes. September is Chris. I just didn't get it on the agenda. October is Tom.
I know it's Chris.
And November is Janet? All right. I apologize, I did not get it on the agenda.
November is Janet.
Janet?
It's Janet, okay.
Mhm.
Can't believe that year is gone. We're all rolling out of that year.
Yes.
Very quickly here too. Jeez. Auditor on site, July 29th, 30th, and 31st.
What's that for?
The auditor.
The audit?
Yeah, the auditor.
Yeah, audit.
He's going to be on site.
We missed Chelsea's report on resident services, but I just wanted to say, yesterday I was at a pool party, and there were a lot of kids from Melrose, not Melrose, from Moore Court. And I wasn't in the same place, but I kept hearing Chelsea this and Chelsea that, and Chelsea this and Chelsea that. So,
Well, they had a very successful trip to the beach.
I heard that too, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Wonderful.
yes.
Yeah, they love her. I mean, I think she just brings so much energy to everything down here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tires me out.
All you have to do is start reading her report without looking at anything else.
Right.
You know who's
Yeah, just by the
by the
exclamation
exuberance.
point.
Yeah.
Well, I assume that everybody got through this heat wave that we
Yeah.
had. And we had 8 days of it, and I'm just wondering how everything weathered down here pretty well.
Yeah, 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 I didn't hear anything, and the SASH folks didn't report any unusual incidences and reaction.
Very good. Resident services, do you have heard anything from them? Just,
No, no.
Just more as for your
Yeah.
info, for your information.
It's, regretfully, we have had a very, very hard time finding anybody to run the summer lunch program at Ledgewood. And so it may just be 1 or 2 days a week. So we've gone everywhere trying to get somebody in, and just,
Now you're looking for volunteers.
yes.
I guess, I'm sure you've asked RSVP.
Yes, we have,
That is
yeah.
paid too.
We've, I
Okay.
think we've asked everywhere.
There's been memos all over the place on that also, being sent out, emails. I just, about the summer lunch, again at Moore Court, my 3 goddaughters were in town for about a couple of weeks and everything, and a friend of theirs lives in Moore Court. She took them to lunch there one day. And the two youngest ones are the fussiest eaters you have ever met in your life. And they, oh, it's so good. Oh, good. So that is like a very, very high compliment.
Wow, all right.
Does anybody have any other business?
I do, I just have one piece that I just only have 4. I thought I had grabbed 5, but this Rethink is a national campaign being done by the Housing Authority Insurance Group to get the public awareness of public housing and to really put public housing in a better light. It's usually just the bad news about public housing, and this is really to shed a better light on it. If you go to the website, they have some really great stories from people, and they'll be sending out a media kit to all the housing authorities that are involved in this, and we are, to help us interview our residents and encourage them to become, part of the storytelling. So it's a great campaign, and they actually made it onto the billboard, autotrons, whatever they're called, in Times Square. So we were all very excited about that. But it's a great campaign to really give public housing a different face and
Well, I'm interested.
better publicity.
They are very careful about using social media, both Facebook and Twitter.
Oh, yes.
Which is, we don't think of that as much here, but I think that's very important.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What about New York City?
It was on the Times Square, the news reels. They had this, said rethink affordable and public housing. So we were all very excited.
And what did you just say, Janet?
Just that they are aware of the need to use social media, Facebook and Twitter.
Okay. Hearing no other business, I'd like to move into, or enter into executive session to discuss some legal matters and contracts.
So
I'll
moved.
second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.